Alright, so we have here the topology for the BGP. So we have four autonomous system here. So the ES65001, 65002, 65003, and 65004. All right, so we have the R1 or router 1, we have the R2 or router 2, we have the R3 or the router 3, and we have the ISP01, ISP02, and the INET or the internet. All right, so from router 3 we can see that between the router 3 and the ISP02, uh, it's, it connects with the 10 Mbps. It is connected with using the 10 Mbps link. All right, so from the router 3 to ISP02, that is the 100 Mbps. All right, so we have here the IP addresses for the ISP. We have the IP addresses here for the R1 and R2 and R3. Right, so the condition here is we will configure the uh, the BGP between these routers from R1 to INET router, that we should be able to ping the uh, the loopback interface. All right, so from the R1 we have the loopback interface of R1 router ID 1.1.1.1. So we will configure that one into a loopback interface as an IP address of the loopback interface. Then same as the router 2, we have the loopback interface to be addressed as 2.2.2.2. All right, so same as the router 3 as well, that the IP address of the loopback will be 3.3.3.3, same as the ISP 01, ISP 02, and INET. All right, so here we will configure from router 1 to INET. So I will show you how to do it. All right, right now we don't have any configuration on the routers, so it's all fresh routers. I'm using the GNS3. So um, all right, so we will go to the we'll we'll configure first the host name as R1. All right, then we will configure the loopback interface. INT loopback 0, IP address 1.1.1, then 255.255.255.0. Okay, and then we can see here that the interface connected to the switch is gigabit 0, gigabit 1. All right, so let's go to the gigabit 1. Sorry, INT gigabit 1, then IP address 172.16.1.1, 255.255.255.0. All right, then we have to do the no shot. Okay, so so we are done on we are not yet done on the R1, but we'll go back after we will configure everything, the interfaces. All right, let's go to the R2. All right, so we will configure the host name of the R2. All right, and then we will go to the interface int loopback 0, IP address 2.2.2 255 the 255.255.0. All right, then configure the gigabit 1. Okay, gigabit 1 I am IP address. What's the IP address? 172.16.1.2 255.255.255.0. All right, so no shot. And then we will go to gigabit. From here we will go to the gigabit 0 gigabit 2. All right, G2. What's the address? It should be 10.1.1.2/24. All right, IP address 10.1.1.2 255.255.255.0. That's /24. Then we have to do the no shot. All right, and then yeah, I have to show IP interface. Did we configure everything? Yes. Yeah, it is configured everything here. I mean the interface should be configured. So let's go jump to the router 3. All right. So conft config t, then we will set the host name to R3, and then interface loopback 0. All right, IP address, the loopback of the router 3 should be 3.3.3.3/24. All right, and then we can see here the gigabit 1. All right, int gigabit 1 IP address 10.1.1 the 1. All right, 255.255.255.0. Okay, and then should be no shot here. How about the gigabit 2? The gigabit 2 connected to ISP01, that is 192.198.51.100.1. All right, so IP address 198.51.100.1 255.255.255.252. All right, and no shot. All right, so let's go to the other link, that is the gigabit 3. int gigabit 3 IP address 198.51.100.5 255.255.255.252. All right, so we'll go unshut. Before we leave, before we will jump to the ISP01, just make sure that all the IP interface are connected, are configured. Right? Okay. I just want to make sure the R2 is correct. Yes, correct. So let's go let's go to the ISP01. Okay, I just want to configure the host name. Host name is ISP01. Alright, then what are the IP addresses of ISP01? The ISP01 interface, loopback interface is 4.4.4. Alright, so uh, INT loopback 0 IP address 4.4.4 255.255.255.0. Alright, then let's go to gigabit 1. Gigabit 1 is connected to the router 3, gigabit 2, and the IP address is 198.51.100.2. Okay, IP address 198.51.100.2, 255.255.255.252. And then we will unshut it. Alright, and then let's go to the gigabit 2. Gigabit 2, what is the IP address of the gigabit 2 connected to the inet router? That is 203.0.113.1/30. Alright, so 203. I just want to make sure that I'm on gigabit 2. Alright, IP address 203.0.113.1 255.255.255.252, and then I have to unshut. Alright, before I leave ISP01, I need to make sure that all the IP addresses are configured. Alright, so they are all configured. Alright, so let's go to the ISP02. I just want to make sure that the host name is configured. So ISP02. Alright, and the loopback interface is IP address is 6.6.6 255.255.255.0. Alright, so the interface gigabit 1 is connected to the R3, and the IP address is 198.51.100.6. Alright, so INT gigabit 1 IP address 198.51.100.6 255.255.255.252, and we have to unshut it. Alright, then the one connected to the inet is gigabit 2. So INT gigabit 2, then IP address 203.0.113. That, which one? 6, right? 255.255.255.252, and then unshut. Alright, show IP interface brief. Still down, the gigabit 2. Alright, it's up now. So let's go to the I'll go to inet. Here we go, the inet. So I just want to make sure that the host name is configured as inet. Alright, then the interface loopback of inet is IP address is 5.5.5 255.255.255.0. Alright, so I have two interface to be configured. So gigabit 1 should be connected to the ISP01. Then the IP address is 203.0.113 dot 2 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 252. Then I have to unshut. Then the one connected to the ISP02 is gigabit 2, and the IP address is 203.0.113.5 255.255.255.252. Correct? Yes. Then I have to unshut the interface. So show IP interface brief. Alright. So everything is configured. I mean, the interfaces are configured, I guess. So let us review. Let's go to R1 again. Show IP interface brief. So correct. So right now we have to configure the BGP for each routers. Alright. So BGP router BGP 65001 BGP. What's the ID? BGP router ID is 1.1.1. Actually, the router ID is not an IP address. It's just a word, or just a name. All right. Okay. So, and we will define the neighbor. All right. What is the neighbor of R1? The neighbor of the R1 is R2. So what's the IP address of R2? That is 172.16.1.2. All right. Neighbor 172.16.1.2. Okay. What is the remote ES? That is 65001. All right. So they are on the same remote, but so we call this one as internal BGP. Okay. And then we'll configure the address family IPv4, wherein we will configure the network. So what are the networks to be included in here? So 1.1.1.1.0 mask 255.255.255.0. Okay. And then what more? Network 172.16.1.0 mask 255.255.255.0. All right. So neighbor 172.16.1.2 we have to activate. All right. Show IP BGP. So we have the BGP there, but there's no we have the BGP there, but we don't have the neighbors yet. All right. So all connected still right now. We don't have the routes coming from router 2. So we will go to the router 2 and configure the BGP. Okay. So what's the router BGP 65001, and then BGP router ID, that is router 2 is 22. All right. And then what is the neighbor 172.16.1.1. What is the remote ES 65001. All right. So we have another neighbor here, that is the R3. So we have to define also from router 2. The so take a look at on this one. We have already the neighborship between the router 1 and router 2. It's the neighbor is up right now. Okay, so we will define the next neighbor also of the router 2, which is the router 3. The IP address of the router 3 will be 10.1.1.1. All right, so we'll do here 10.1.1. Okay, and all right, so we'll go to the address family IPv4, where we will define the network. All right, so the network is on the R2. We have the loopback interface of 2.2.2 network, mask 255.255.255.0. Another network is the 172.16.1.0, mask 255.255.255.0. All right. Okay, so one more is the 10 network 10.1.0. All right, then neighbor, we have to activate the neighbor 10 172.16.1.1 activate, and another neighbor here 10.1.1.1 activate. Here we go. So are we good? All right, so we have two neighbors, we have three networks inside of R2. So let's go to the R3. Okay, so config the router BGP 65001, and then BGP router ID 3.3.3. all right, so what are the neighbors? Neighbors are 10.1.1.2, and the remote ES is what? 65001. So we have another neighbor, that's the ISP 01, that which is the IP address will be 198.51.100.2. Remote ES 65002. That is the 65002 here. Okay, then we have another neighbor, that is 198.51.100.6. okay, 198.51.100.6. all right, and the remote ES is 65004. okay, and then we'll go to the address family IPv4. So we will define the network here. So the network is 3.3.3 0 mask. all right, 255.255.255.0. then network 10 .1.1.0 mask 255.255.255.0. all right, then what more? 198.51.100.0, and that is 252. And network 4, network 198.51.100.4. Okay, then we have to activate all the neighbors. So the neighbors are 10.1.1.2. Activate. Activate. 2. Activate. Alright, so just want to make sure that so we have 4 networks. Alright, including the loopback interface of the router 3. Okay, so let's go to ISP01. Okay, so BGP, router BGP 65002, then BGP router ID 4.4.4. Okay, so let's go and configure the neighbor of ISP01. The neighbor is router 3 and router inet. Alright, so I have to define the IP address of router 3 here, 51.100.1, and the remote ES is 65001. Alright, the other neighbor is 203.0.113.2. Remote ES is 65003. Okay, so I have to go and define the network under network address family IPv4. The network is 4.4.4.0 mask 255.255.255.0. Alright, so another network is the 198.51.100.0 mask 255.255.255.252. Then another network is 203.0.113.0 mask 255.255.255.252. So I have to activate the neighbor, right? 198.51.100.1 activate. Okay, and then neighbor 203.0.113.2 activate. Alright, show IP interface brief, show run. So I have on this one here, I have three networks and 2 neighbors, right? So let's go to the ISP02. Okay, connect BGP router BGP, that is 65004. Okay, so my interface loopback 0 and IP address is 6.6.6 255.255.255.0. Okay, and then I have to go to the gigabit 1 that is connected to the R3. and the IP address is 198.51. No, I think we have configured already, right? Show IP interface. Yeah, so I'll just add the BGP configuration on ISP02 BGP router BGP 65004, and then uh, BGP router ID that is 6.6.6, and then the neighbors are 198.51.100.5, and the remote ES is 65001. We are here, right, in this link, and then the next neighbor will be 203.0.113.5. All right, the neighbor is the inet. All right, and then the remote ES is 65003. All right, so we have to activate the neighbors. No, we have to go to the IP address family. Then we will define all the networks here. 6.6.0 mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, so another network is 198.51.100.4, then mask 255.255.255.252, then network 203.0.113.4, and then mask 255.255.255.252. All right, that's it. And then we have to activate the neighbors. All right, 203.0.113.5 activate, and another neighbor to activate is 198.51.100.5 activate. All right, let's see the configuration. Yes, correct. Okay, so the last one should be the inet router. All right. So conft router BGP. What is the ES number? 65003, and then BGP router ID, that is 5.5.5. all right, that's, and then we will define the neighbors. Neighbor is 203, the ISP01, the neighbor, then 113.1. all right, remote ES is 65002, and then another neighbor is 203.113. dot 6. all right, remote no, neighbor is 2030.113.6. remote ES is 65004. all right, so let's go IPv4 network to advertise is 5.5.5 mask mask is 255.255.255.0. Then another network to be 203.0.113.0 mask 255.255.255.252. Then network 203.0.113.4 mask 255.255.255.252. And then we have to activate the 203 0 113.1 activate. Then another neighbor, that is the ISP 02, which is 6. Okay, so run. Yeah. Alright. So we are done on the configuration. So we will verify what are the if we can ping all the way from router 1 to iNet. Okay. Alright. So we will review first. Show IP BGP. Okay, so IP BGP summary. So we have one neighbor right now. Okay, since 16 minutes. All right. So we have one neighbor here. That's the router 2. Okay. So we have to go to the router 2, show IP BGP summary. So we have two neighbors, all right, and they are up. So they have the router 1 and router 3, right? Okay, so let's go to router 3, show IP BGP summary. So we have three neighbors. This is the router 2, and this is the ISP 01, and this one is the ISP 02. Okay, and then let's go to the ISP 01, show IP BGP summary. Alright, so we have from the ISP 01, we have two neighbors, the R3, which is the 198.51.100.1, and the iNet, which is the 203.0.112.2 here. Okay, so let's go to the ISP 02, show IP BGP neighbor, show IP BGP summary. Alright, so we have two neighbors from the ISP 02, which is the R3 and iNet. So here is the R3, and this one is the iNet. Alright, so let's go to the iNet, show IP BGP summary. So we have two neighbors. This one is the ISP 01, and this one is the ISP 02. Okay, so it's very clear right now that all the neighbors, all the BGP are up and running. So let's verify if we can show IP route. So no, we have to ping first the that 5, if we can ping. No, so we cannot ping the iNet, right? We cannot ping from R1 to iNet. So what's the issue? Show IP route. No, that 5.5 is not able to, it's not on the routing table of R1. All right, so let's take a look on the R2, show IP route. Do we have the 5? Yes. All right, so let us ping if we can ping the 5.5.5. Yes, we can ping. But why the router 1 cannot ping? All right. There's there's a there's a BGP split horizon rule as per the Cisco that the IBGP with IBGP split horizon rule states that IBGP router will not advertise IBGP routes to other IBGP neighbors. All right. So that's the reason why we cannot do the we cannot ping the inet from R1. So what we can do, all right, from the documentation again, it says here that however this has scaling problems. To avoid this, you have to either configure a route reflector, okay, or use a configuration to allow the routes to properly propagate. So all right, so to where we will apply the route reflector. Okay, so since the since the R2 can ping the 5.5.5 on the inet, we will apply the route reflector configuration on the R2. As you can see from the R1, here is the IP route on the routing table of the R1. It's very few, right? It's you don't have much route on the routing table, but for the on the R2, it looks like everything is known by the R2. All right, so let's go and configure the route reflector. Okay, so we will tell to the R1 that R2 will be the route reflector. Okay, so router BGP 65001 address family IPv4. All right, so what is the neighbor? 172.16.1.1 will be the route reflector client. All right, so we'll enter, and that's it. That's the it will uh, it will reconverge the the neighbors. It will reconvert the neighbor 172.16.1, yeah, and then it will inject all the routing the routes here from its routing table to the R1. So let's see. Before, this is the route on the routing table of R1. So let's go, and here we go. So we have almost the same with the R2 now. So are we able to ping? Right now we can see that the 5.5.5.0 network is able to ping via ISP01, which is the no ISP02. Sorry. Let's see. Yes. Let's see if we can ping. Ping 5.5.5. Alright, we can ping. So if we will trace out where the routes going. All right. Yes. Okay. So the ISP 2. Yeah. Let me see. ISP01. Do we have the yeah? All right. So that's it. Um, will I be able to ping 4.4.4? Yes. And then 6.6.6. Yes. All right. So what if something happened on this path? All right. Right now, the trace from the R1 is going to the going to the ISP 06 ISP 02, sorry. Right, so it's going to the dot 6 here. So if something happen, for example, we'll turn off, we'll make gigabit 3 down for now. Let me see the ISP 02. If here we go. As you can see, the gigabit 2 is still up, so it looks like it is a bug for the GNS3. So I need to turn off also the other side. All right, gigabit 2 shut. So right now, oh sorry, that's INT gigabit 2 should not be all right. The one we have to turn off should be the gigabit 1 of the ISP 02. All right, shut. So will it still be able to ping? Yes. So it goes to ISP it goes to ISP 01. All right, so for example, I have to turn on the gigabit 3, no shut, and then from the ISP I have to turn on the gigabit 1, INT gigabit 1, no shut. All right, okay, it's up right now. BGP is still not up. Yeah, it's up. So yeah, and now we can see the problem. But since the both of the links are up right now, the 10 Mbps and the 100 Mbps, the the route is not going back to the 100 Mbps. So how can we do that? Okay, see, it stays it is stay on ISP 01. That is the ISP 01 is 198.51.100.2. That is one here, right? So I can ping, yeah, I can ping, but I'm using the 10 Mbps. Okay, so how to fix that one? All right, so we will set the local preference. As we know that the local preference, the higher the better. All right, the higher the the local preference, that will be the best route, or that will be the best option for the router to uh, to exit. All right, so no, it will not go back on the on the 100 Mbps. All right, so just to, yeah, so the 65004 is up also here, but it's not coming. It's but the path is not going back to the 100 Mbps. So what we want is, once the 100 Mbps is up, and it should prioritize always from router 3 to have the route going to the inet. All right, so how to do that? Okay, let's go to the R3, and we will configure the route map and set the local preference. So route route map. All right, so we will ISP 02, and this one should be the primary. So we'll put permit 10. So set we will set the local preference, so the higher the better, right? So we'll put 200. Then we will make another route map for the ISP 01. I should have this one here, sorry. Okay, route map. I should have the ISP. All right, okay, set local preference into 200, and then set 20 secondary ISP 01, and then local preference should be lower. Alright, did we configure it correctly? Yes. So we will apply to each of the neighbors. Alright, so router BGP 65001, address family IPv4, and then neighbor neighbor 198.51.100.6, then route map. Okay, route map. What is the name of the route map for the ISP 02? Here we go. In inbound direction. All right. and the other one, this is secondary here. Alright, secondary ISP01, and this one should be 2, correct? So run. Yes, this is the primary and this is the secondary. Show IP BGP. So we have set this one here, the 200. See, the greater than sign is the preferred one right now. So let me see. Yes, so it goes to here. It goes to ISP01. Can I ping? Yes. So we will try to shut down again the gigabit 03 con FT INT gigabit 3 shut, and let's go to the ISP02 to shut down the gigabit 1 also. Shut. Okay, let us see. Can I ping? Yes, I can ping. And where's the route? Yes. Yeah, the route here, it went to ISP 01. But when we enable back the INT gigabit 3 shot, no shot, sorry, it should go back to the ISP02. Let's go ISP02 INT G1, no shot. Okay, let us wait until the BGP is up, and let's verify again. Right now it's taking the path here, R1 go down to R2, down to R3, down to ISP01, down to iNet router. Alright, so BGP is up right now. So I can I ping? Yes, I can ping. Where's the trace route? Here we go. So whatever if something happen on 10 Mbps, if this one will be down, it will take I mean, if 100 Mbps link will be down, it will take the secondary path. All right, the secondary, the backup link going to the iNet, which is the 10 Mbps. And if the 100 Mbps is restored or up and running again, the uh, the path will choose the 100 Mbps. All right, the R3, the router 3 will choose the 100 Mbps. All right, so that's the uh, that's what we was that's the benefits of local preference. We have set the local preference of 100 Mbps into 200. That is the higher than the higher preference than the 10 Mbps, which is the 100. As you can see here, uh, the preference of the local preference of the ISP02 is, what is ISP02? Yeah, 200, and the local preference for the ISP01 is 100. So the higher the better. All right, so hopefully this video is very informative, and hopefully it can help you something. All right, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.